Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cupid Parasite, continuing Shelby's route. So, last time we met the man we're going to cheat on her husband with. If it doesn't happen in this route, then I don't know, because I feel like they're setting it up hard, Anyway, a few days after our return from Diamor Paradis, Shelby threw himself back into work with renewed vigor. President Shelby, the location for the afternoon lunch meeting has changed. Should I let them know it's not a problem? Yes, I'll leave it to you. His focus was so intense that he barely looked up, even when discussing work matters. It was the same when employees brought reports to him. He just kept working, undeterred by the interruptions. And the thing is I'm my husband's secretary, so it should be like, yeah, okay, there's going to be work, but every once in a while, you need a break? You want to knock everything off your desk and have sex with me? I won't tell your wife, wink, wink. You know what I mean? That's the fun. You can play boss and secretary, and you are the boss and secretary, but you're also married, so it's not inappropriate, right? I mean, you can play boss and secretary with your husband at home, whatever, but I just mean it's inappropriate if the boss is fucking his secretary and it's not his wife. That. But Shelby, as soon as he's just a business all the time, and you're like, well, did you taken some of the fun out of this? This is why I'm gonna cheat with someone. Oh no, that's so cold. I gotta laugh about it though, because I gotta prepare myself for the fact that they're gonna do it, and I don't know if I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, well, all right, fine. If you're gonna do that, then at least it was ooh, spicy, and not, oh, this makes me feel gross. I don't know, I'm not really sure here. We'll see. Anyway, he just kept working, undeterred by the interruptions. I'll excuse myself now. Sure. Thank you for your help today. Of course. Is the president okay? Observing Shelby engrossed in his work, even the staff could sense something was amiss. Yes, he's fine. He's just catching up on work he missed during our vacation. I see. Well, I'll be off now. After saying goodbye to the staff member, I sighed slightly. Shelby's focus on his work bordered on desperation. It was clear he'd been affected by Mr. Omar's words. He mentioned that her stability was an illusion. Shelby Snail, the perfectionist, the so-called prestige parasite, wasn't content until everything was flawless. His pride as a president and a man must have been stung by Mr. Omar's comments. And then his pride as a man is going to be even more stung when you get... You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, there's so many lines where you can read into and be like, and... Do you see where I'm going here? I need to make sure he doesn't work himself into the ground. As a secretary and family member, I was resolved to support him no matter what. But even when it was time to leave the office, Shelby refused to quit working. Having finished my tasks for the day, I headed home before him. Especially because, the way it's setting it up is, he's going to overwork himself to the point of, kind of ignoring that you exist. And the thing is, sometimes work will be like that, you know what I mean? And you don't have time to breathe. So, no, that doesn't give your spouse to be like, well, fuck you, you're busy working, supporting us, I'm gonna quit. And the fact that Shelby's running this business is his business. It's way more in depth than just me going to work to pay my bills. You know what I mean? But, yes, if something's going wrong, it's my job, and it's a responsibility, and I do care about the work that I do, so of course I'm gonna put in the effort when necessary, even sometimes at the detriment of my own sanity. I'm not going to work all hours of the night and get no sleep, because fuck that shit. But, you know what I mean? You be like, no, I'm really busy today, and not see your significant other, and then it does cause friction and can cause problems. Still doesn't give them the right to cheat. That's not an excuse. You know what I mean? That's what communication's for. But I feel like that's what they're doing here, is they're setting it up. So, in the spicy end, it's going to be oh, well, then I cheated on my husband because he wasn't paying attention to me. You know what I mean? Which, I don't know. There is a way to do the like, oh, infidelity thing where it's like, ooh, it's spicy, it's like whatever. Where it's, yeah, you're technically cheating on your husband, but it's less, ew, no, what the fuck, why? You know? I mean, at the base level, it's going to be, ew, no, what the fuck, why? But you could kind of do it where like, okay, it's seen, well, especially because we don't know what the level of, when you just read infidelity in the, you know, like the guide, the warning kind of thing. It's like that is you are being like you have a husband, you are sleeping with someone else. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's not like an arranged thing where like, yes, I'm being unfaithful to my husband, but he knows damn well that I am. You know what I mean? And he's like, hey, you're getting your needs met while he's busy working. And you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be, especially because again, this game doesn't have bad endings. So I'm just trying to think of a way that they could do this where like, yes, you could call it infidelity, but you know what I mean? Like, does it really, like you could have gone and said, oh, well, like Ryuki's ending was like a thruple ending, even though it really wasn't. It was literally just voyeurism. You know what I mean? But this could be something like, okay, Shelby was working all the time, so you're getting your rocks off because at least you're getting your physical needs met over here with Eli, but you're like, and Shelby kind of knows, but you just don't talk about it. And it's just like, we don't talk about it. We both know it's just accepted that this is how it goes, but we're, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's still a little like inappropriate, but that's, hey, that's how you do your relationship. Cool. You know, I have something in my tooth. Oh my God. That's so annoying. Anyway, you know, as opposed to like, oh, I'm sneaking around behind his back. I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like the way they're kind of setting it up, I'm like, so I feel like that's where they're going to go with this. I don't know why I'm so stuck on that, but it's like, hey, after Ryuki's voyeurism shit came right out of the blue, I was like, oh, okay, the spicy ends are going to be like interesting kinks. And someone has a cheating on my husband kink, but maybe he knows about it. And hey, if he knows, and because I mean, again, who knows? Unless you have this kink, do you know about the, you know what I mean? Like you hear about them, but like you could absolutely have a kink where you're like, yeah, no, I know my spouse goes and fucks someone else behind my back. I don't know who they are. I know they're having an affair, but like, but I like that it makes me jealous and whatever. Like you could have a weird kink like that. You know what I'm saying? Like just because you as a person are thinking like that sounds fucked up doesn't mean somebody else doesn't have a total kink like that, you know? It's kind of like some people are sexually turned on by feet. You're like, I mean, I'm not repulsed by feet, but feet are just feet. I don't get that. You know what I mean? So it could be something like that, you know, where new kink unlocked for Shelby just kind of likes the fact, or you cheating on him and he kind of knows about, and it's like a weird kink where you're like, okay, it's odd because me personally don't get that, but they play it off in a kink kind of way as opposed to a, you know, like, oh my God, you're just cheating on your husband like a dick. You know, the standard thing that you think when someone says infidelity, you're like, oh, hell no. You know what I mean? But yeah, anyway, we'll see how it works out. But I just feel like that's going to be our spicy in this one because I just, you know what I mean? It feels like they're being too obvious with it for it to be anything else. And then if it is anything else, it's like, well, okay. You know, but then again, I didn't see Ryuki being one that'd be like, no, I like it when he watches. I haven't. Okay, sure. Still sad it wasn't a throuple. Anyway, I'm heading home alone again because Shelby didn't come with me. That day, as I walked home alone, I looked up at the sky and we'll keep talking about like so many things. And I'm like, again, I could be reading into it. We'd been working late and going to our house at 8th Avenue, but we hadn't been spending much time together. See, it's all the, see what I'm saying? Though we slept in the same bed, it was a fleeting comfort. I'd wake briefly when he crawled into bed, relieved to know he was home, only to wake in the morning and find him gone. I'm starting to feel lonely. See, it's all of this! It's all of this setup and it'll work itself out in the sweet and spicy end, but in the spicy end, That you can see where I'm getting this impression. It feels a little too on the nose. I decided to tell him tomorrow that I wanted us to at least have dinner together. Just as I made this resolution, a sports car pulled up, and guess who's gonna pop out? Hell yeah, motherfucker. You had to know. Good evening, Mrs. Snail. Mr. Omar? An unexpected figure emerged from the car. What are you doing here? My apologies. I saw you and felt compelled to stop. May I call you Spacey? Huh? Well, I suppose. Caught off guard, I hesitated before agreeing. Mr. Omar then flashed a relaxed, charming smile. It was a charming gaze that felt so gentle. See, and then she's like, it's such a gentle, sexy gaze. See, she's being beguiled here. I'm just... Thank you, Spacey. And to be honest, I wanted to speak with you since we met the other day. Before I knew it, Eli had closed the distance between us. It wasn't the space kept between strangers. It was the intimate proximity shared between friends and lovers. By the way, are you heading home now? Yes. Are you still working, Eli? Nodding, he moved a step closer, his eyes never leaving mine as he ran a hand through his hair. Yes, I've been searching for talented chefs for Diamor Paradis, so I was scouting some in this area. I thought I might dine alone as part of my research. You're doing the research personally? I want our customers to have an exceptional dining experience. The only way to guarantee that is to sample the cuisine myself. A skilled chef is a key component of our business. Eli smiled as he checked something on his tablet. It starts with going to dinner with this guy. I'm about to check out a restaurant on my shortlist. Would you like to join me? Huh? Me? Yes, I'd value a woman's perspective. Smoothly, he took my hand and planted a gentle kiss on the back of it. Looking up at me with a mischievous glint in his eyes, I quickly pulled my hand away. I mean, I really like how much he is trying to get you into bed. And, like, I'm just saying, if this is not where the infidelity comes in, what the hell? Then can we have a throuple? Because this man is... Ray didn't work very hard, you know what I'm saying? He just like, oh, by the way, I'm in love with you, we should all date. And we were like, what? No! And then he watched us bone. So, like... I guess mission failed successfully. Because, I mean, like, okay, sure. It's a little odd, and not what I expected, but okay. But it also kind of came out of nowhere, because, like, I didn't get the vibe if he was really... he was flirting with my bone structure. It was a little... Like, okay. This is like, there is no way this man is not trying to sleep with us. Or woo us away. Like, whether it's because, like, he is attracted to us and wants to get all up in our shit, or, like, if I get all up in your shit, then I'll break Shelby and then I can buy his bit. I don't care if it's part of your business plan. Okay? I don't care if it is, like, personal or business. You are absolutely trying to get all up in my shit for one reason or another. Maybe both. I don't know. But, like, so, like, we're just gonna not do anything? And, like, but we let Ray watch? And he just said, like, 5 minutes at the end was like, oh, by the way, I'm in love with you. Let's all, like, date. And we were like, no. And then he's like, okay, I'll watch you have sex then. And you're like, okay. You know what I mean? Came out of fucking left field. They're setting you up. They're setting you up. So if we do not cheat on our husband, again, that feels so weird, then, like, we better have a boyfriend. I'm thinking, like, is he our side piece? Like, my husband knows I have a boyfriend on the side? Because still, it's still kind of infidelity at the technical level. You know what I mean? But, like, if that's not where this is going, I'm shocked. Okay? We're, like, 3 parts in, and it's like, I'm pretty sure it was obvious the moment this man rolled up and was like, hey, and you were like, whoa. In this route, not in Ryuki's, but... It's a tempting offer, but I've already planned to have dinner with my husband. He ain't stupid. I had no such plans with Shelby. It was a blatant lie, but Eli just laughed with composed amusement. He's a dedicated husband, isn't he? As if seeing through my lie, Eli cast his gaze toward the upper floors of Cupid Corp, almost as if he knew Shelby was still there. I don't know why I say Corp. It's still Cupid Corporation, but Cupid Corp. Like, it's just easier to say. Like, she hasn't let her guard down yet, I see. In that case, please allow me to escort you home. And that's the least I can do. He opened his car door, and I found myself flustered. He's a sexy man with a sexy car. Thank you, but I'm fine. My home is just a short walk from here. I see. Then we'll meet again. I'll be back to see you, Spacey. I bet you will. Eli climbed back into his car and drove off. I was relieved he didn't push further, but I was left puzzled by the encounter. He is desperately trying to get all up in your shit. But see, it's also, too, because she's not, like, right now, she's not swayed by it at all. You know what I mean? She's like, yeah, no, this guy, what is this guy's deal? Anyway, and then it's gonna probably feel, again, unless it's like an arranged thing and it's like, you know, I've got a boyfriend on the side and my husband knows, kind of like how the man harem works, right? But, like, I'm not secretly dating other members. It's like, when you come into the man harem, it's like, just FYI, this place is fucking huge. And we will be adding new wings for every game we play, and you will be getting new brethren in here constantly. Okay? And not just Otome games when we watch anime, we play anything. Any hot man that is not an actual 3D person, I count them, like, Love and Deep Space counts as 2D, okay? I know they're like 3D art stuff, but they're still technically, they're not 3D as in real, actual, living, breathing people. Okay? I guess a real living, breathing person that's playing a character that is like on a TV show or a movie. I don't really know where they fit. Huh. They're like separate. They're not really in the man. The man harem is for our 2D boyfriends, like our art, our beautiful works of art that we just collect and we hoard, okay? But there's no secrets going on in here. I'm not like, shh. Don't tell the Code Realize wing that the Pio Fiore wing exists. No, these motherfuckers all know. This is like, I mean, we're open about this, okay? But, like, it'd be different if I was like, oh, hey, shh. Don't tell so-and-so that I got so-and-so on the side. Like that. But, like, they know. But, like, we don't talk about it. Again, I suppose this could lead into a kink. It seems hard to wrap your brain around because I have been cheated on in my marriage. That is why I no longer have one. So, like, I'm like, oh, fuck no! I did not. But I also don't have a kink where I'm like, oh, yeah, my husband's getting it on the side. Yeah, that's sexy. And yeah, I'll be better than her. Where, like, then I'm, like, competing with his whore. You know what I mean? Where I could see Shelby maybe if they're going to write that in. Sure, he would be the one to be like, I have to be perfect, so obviously if my wife has a man on the side, then I'm gonna compete and be better than him and like fuck her better. You know what I mean? You could be like, okay, I can see where that would, yeah, he could develop that kink, sure. You know what I mean? But as someone who has been in the experience of being cheated on and being like, fuck no. I mean, I get that kink could exist, but I'm very much like, yeah, nope. Never gonna have that one. Nope. Probably wouldn't have any of these, to be fair, except for in like a 2D world. Like, I don't think I want anybody watching me have sex with somebody else. That's weird. But like, okay. As opposed to like cheating on your, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I guess I'm gonna guess it's gonna be less like straight up the standard type of infidelity when you say infidelity that you think of, and more the I have a boyfriend on the side and my husband knows. We don't talk about it. He doesn't, like, he's never asked me straight out, but he's not stupid. And now he's competing with my boyfriend on the side to pull my attention back. Because he neglected me and I fucked him. That's the little gross part, but like, whatever. Whatever, we'll see what happens. I hadn't expected him to invite me to dinner and offer to escort me home. Well, those were typical gestures toward a married woman. Maybe Eli likes married women. Maybe that's his kink. I'm just saying. Then I remembered that Eli had hired Owen. Owen was the former secretary at Cupid. I was certain Eli knew about the previous incidents. He was aware of all the past complications and still chose to hire Owen. He even made an acquisition offer to Shelby. His decision to approach me couldn't have been coincidental. See, she's like, oh, it's all business here. I think some of it's personal. Was he trying to persuade me to convince Shelby to sell Cupid Core? Probably partially. Perhaps he thought that if I, as Shelby's wife, tried to convince him, he'd be more likely to agree. Was that why he invited me to dinner? I immediately dismissed those thoughts. No, that's just my imagination. He was just on his way home from work. He happened to see me, that's all. Well, maybe, but he used it to his advantage. Besides, Shelby wouldn't change his mind just because I asked him to. Shelby was always firm in separating his personal life from his work. Eli should have known that. At least that was what I thought. Dun dun dun. Oh. Interesting. He's pursuing. Hi, Spacey. I saw Mr. Snail go out for a dinner meeting earlier. How about we have dinner ourselves? It's going to be over the next course of a couple of days. Still trying to run? You really are a tough nut to crack. At least let me buy you lunch. This man is stalking me. I don't know if I'm opposed to it. I was like, if he shows up in my bedroom, how did you get a key? Despite my rebuffs, Eli kept coincidentally running into me. It was clear that he had something he wanted to discuss. You and him and a merger in the bedroom. Maybe I should see what he wants to talk about, including the acquisition issue. But how should I broach the subject? I was hesitant to have dinner behind Shelby's back. So when we finally had dinner together for the first time in a while, I decided to discuss the situation with him. Eli Omar asked you to dinner. Shelby choked on his food during our dinner conversation. Yes, he asked me several times, and I don't know how to respond. I was like, this is the share house, but I forgot. Didn't, Shelby technically own this? Several times. So I was thinking about meeting him once to see what he wants. No. I know, Shelby. I wouldn't meet him alone. That's why I'm consulting with you. So you want us both to meet that man? Shelby's like, he's trying to have sex with you. And you're like, I know, Shelby, that's why. He's like, wait, you want us both to have sex with that man? See, I don't know if Shelby gets it, but I just feel that'd be fucking hilarious, though, if he's like, that man is trying to get in your pants, and, she's just that clueless. She's like, I want to see what he wants. He's like, no. And she's like, I wouldn't go alone. And he's like, you want us both to go have sex with, I don't. Any way to shove in a throuple or me. Shelby, if you're too busy, someone else can come with me. Maybe Gil can accompany me. That's even worse. Even worse? I'm running out of ways to decline his invitations. I thought it might be a good idea to talk to him once and clearly say no. See, that's it. Shelby gets it. He's like, that man is trying to have sex with you. And you're like, I can bring Gil. And he's like, oh, Gil is worse. Jesus. Gil's never given up on you. He's not stupid. This is why, if it comes down to, us cheating or whatever, or sleeping with Eli, Shelby's absolutely gonna know, and it's gonna absolutely be that weird kink where he's like, I know, but I will, oh, hell yeah, I'm gonna compete with him, and who can fuck my wife better. She's gonna be really weird, but okay. And then quit your job. What? I'm sorry, Shelby, did I mishear you? Could you repeat that? And you didn't mishear me. And quit your job, Spacey. Wait, why? I was stunned. A sudden leap in reasoning left me bewildered. Yeah, I'm confused about this too. The conversation had been about me not knowing how to handle the VP of a company that intended on acquiring Cupid Core. But somehow his conclusion was that I should quit my job. It made no sense. Unless Shelby's like, quit your job, then he won't come after you, and you don't have to deal with the acquisition shit. What do you mean, why? You're my secretary, often out and about alone. That's why he's targeting you. Okay. For a minute, I thought maybe you were intelligent. Because, especially when we say Gil, and he's like, that's even worse, because Gil has always been trying to get in my pants. And Eli was gonna, and now you're like, then quit your job. He won't try to bother my secretary. I'm pretty sure he's still gonna bother me because I don't think it matters so much that I'm your secretary. I think that's a bonus. He's like, I'm gonna bang Shelby's secretary, who's also his wife. I'm pretty sure if we were two different people, he already stole one secretary. Granted, you fired him first, but I'm just saying, if you had another secretary, he'd be trying to bang your secretary and your wife. It's just convenient for him it's one person. Oh! Sassy CG! His hand slammed on the table as he rose abruptly. His serious expression underscored his words. Yeah, but this is like we're fighting now. I don't know if I like a fighty CG. He's a relentless man, not the sort to act on impulse. He'll keep pursuing you until he gets what he wants. Which is not Cupid core. Part of it. Stay at home, quit your job, and he can't touch you. Please, stay home. But how did you jump to that conclusion? Nobody can remain calm when another man's after his beloved wife. Beloved wife? His words left me speechless. But even with my surprise, I couldn't agree to his demand. I can't just quit my job for that reason. Like, he's being, like, possessive. Okay. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's like, oh my god, I understand his being upset at somebody trying to, like, scam his wife off him, you know what I mean? But stay home and hide away so nobody ever looked. You're getting a little crazy. But I think part of it's his self-doubts in himself, you know what I mean? Just for that, don't you see this is serious? He's only been coming to me. He's only been coming to meet me, not flirting. Girl. No, he is flirting with you. No man consistently seeks out someone he has no interest in. Shelby gets it. Maybe he has something important to discuss regarding work. Important? From that man? You can't be serious. No, you need to reject him. Stay at home hidden from him, at least for now. How am I supposed to work like that? That's why I'm discussing this with you, to figure out what to do. She's gonna meet with him. Your work circumstances are not the priority here. I'm not giving in. He's eyeing you as his own, and I can't allow him anywhere near you. So please, let go of your job. My income is enough to provide us a comfortable life. But why are you insisting on this? I love my job. Why? Do you really love your job? Of course I do. Why else would I have joined the company? Most women I've met want to quit their jobs after marriage. I mean, I'm just saying, if I had a super rich husband who was like, you know, if you want to quit your job, and okay, I'm not gonna, like, cook and clean the house or anything. Like, maybe a little bit, but, like, I mean, it's still, like, but you just, could we get a maid? Like, whatever, I don't know, just saying. Their primary desire being to marry a man of status. It's just that, it's like, I don't want to be, like, a 1950s housewife. Although I do have the dresses, and, like, do I have to put on the heels and the pearl necklace while I vacuum? The little apron? Once in a while, maybe. Although I've admired your work ethic and felt proud of having such a dedicated employee. But is your job so important that you'd risk that man's relentless pursuit? Yeah, I'm gonna end up becoming a bored housewife, and that's why I'm gonna cheat on you. I should keep me occupied with work. Can you explain why you're so determined to continue your work? Why? Because I love matchmaking, that's why. But can't you do something else? Well, I paused, stopping myself from voicing the true reason. Because it's my nature. Oh, he doesn't know. Before I fell for a human, I was Cupid, existing solely to support human love. But even if I revealed that, he wouldn't believe me. Shelby was a grounded realist who didn't know that I was Cupid. The realization that my own husband didn't know my true self filled me with a deep sorrow. Was it necessary to keep my past a secret? My past as Cupid? No, it's not. I didn't think I should hide it, even if he wouldn't believe me. I yearned to maintain my pride and my identity as Cupid. Sharing that truth with Shelby was important to me. After all, I never wanted to lie about something so crucial to who I am. Driven by my deepest desire to share the truth, I answered his earlier question. Shelby, there's a secret I've been holding back from you. A secret? His face hardened at my tone, bracing himself for what was to come. Do you remember when I was kidnapped by the Rome and Julie wedding people, and suddenly everyone fell in love with me? Yes, I do remember. But why bring it up now? Because I shot them with my Cupid's golden arrow. I'm the real Cupid. This does sound... But if you heard this, you'd be like, okay, I do think you need to quit your job and we should get you a nice little vacation in a padded room with a goat that makes you hug yourself a lot. Huh? I'm sorry. Did I mishear you? Can you say that one more time? Could you stop trying? I keep changing which hand my remote's in because I don't want you chewing on my fucking controller. Can you not chew on my controller then? You can snugs, but don't chew on the controller. It's not for you. You can't click the buttons. Okay. I'm the real Cupid, a deity of love from Celestia. I use my divine powers to escape that kidnapping. He's like, okay, so you use your divine powers now. And you're like, well, I don't have them anymore. Well, because, like, when I fell in love with you, I lost my status as Cupid. Now I'm just a normal person. And he's like, okay, crazy lady. Before coming to Lost York, I lived in Celestia as Cupid. I aided humans in love. When I discovered your company, I was so impressed that I decided to descend to the human realm. For 400 years, I've been Cupid, and that's why I have a passion for matchmaking. It's an intrinsic part of me, and I can't change. That's why I can't leave this job. That's the real reason I can't quit. Silence enveloped us as Shelby digested my words. He stared at me, his brow creased. I mean, something's going to come up later where he meets our parents and then he finds out everything we're telling him is true. I don't think they're going to leave it that, like, he completely thinks we're just cuckoo bananas for the rest of the route, but eventually he sighed. You seemed so earnest, but this revelation is so unexpected. What? Unexpected? Wow, now we're back to the angry CG. Stop playing me for a fool. How am I supposed to believe that? If you're gonna make up a tale, at least make it believable. It's not a lie, I'm telling the truth. Then where's this Cupid's arrow you claim to have? I don't have it anymore. She sounds cuckoo bananas. Unbelievable. You came up with this fairy tale because you couldn't convince me otherwise. No. The realization that he didn't believe me was devastating. I'd hoped he would at least listen, if not believe me. I didn't know if it was because I felt mortified or sad, but my vision blurred with tears. I am the real Cupid. It's an undeniable fact, but I didn't have any proof to make him believe me. Should I have kept my past hidden? What should I have done? I should have revealed my true identity when I was still Cupid. Why did I wait until now to reveal my secret? Shelby, you jerk! A jerk? Yes, you! Why do you dismiss me so easily? You're the one who started this. I'm not joking around. It's the truth. I found the courage to share my secret, so why won't you believe me? How am I supposed to believe such an extraordinary story? It's impossible. But if you put aside whether I'm Cupid or not, what about my admission of how much I love my job? I might not be able to explain fully why I want to continue, but I really do want to. Even if you ask me to quit, I won't. But I can't bear to let you go to the office with that man on your tail. You need to understand. The man is dangerous. I'm scared he might take you away from me. And I feel like he will, especially if you keep this up and the way this route's going. Can you expect me to abandon everything because of that? What about my desire to continue matchmaking? No, see, the right answer here was like, he's not going to take me away from you, you idiot! You just like, because what he basically just said, I'm scared he's going to take you away from me. And you're like, whatever, that's so stupid. Like, you're because of your fear, what about what I want? It's like, but you missed the words that he specifically said. It's not even, you don't even have to infer. Like, he specifically said he is afraid that man's going to steal you. So the right answer here is not being like, what the fuck, but I love my job. It's, oh my god, you dumbass. No one's going to steal me away from you. God. You have so little faith in yourself and my love for you. Come the fuck on. Because he's not doubting you, he's doubting himself. You know what I mean? And thereby extension doubting you, but it really starts with a doubt from of himself, you know? I never asked you to give up matchmaking. It's essentially the same thing. Moreover, Shelby, how will you manage your work without me as your secretary? I'll hire a new secretary. That's not the issue. Not an issue? You claimed you were struggling because you didn't have a secretary. That's the only reason I agreed. I'd always wanted to stay on the ground as a bridal advisor. What? Really? Yes. I thought your company was in trouble, Shelby. I believe working for the company would contribute to matchmaking. If you weren't satisfied, you should have said so earlier. It's only now that I'm realizing it. It was true. I just realized it then. I thought being Shelby's secretary would be part of my matchmaking work. But I really wanted to stay grounded, directly helping people through matchmaking. It took time, but I finally understood it. Regardless, I won't quit my job. I absolutely refuse to. I mean, this is a conversation that you should still have later when you both chill out about, to say, okay, well, so wait, you're not happy being my secretary, but I needed one. Okay, let me find a new secretary. You can train them, do whatever, help them out part-time while doing matchmaking stuff, like where you were happy being a bridal advisor, and then we'll eventually transition all your secretary duties to the new person, and then you can go back to what makes you happy, keeping your job but doing what you love doing. You know what I mean? Like, this is a conversation that you should have, just not in this heat of anger right now. Fine, do what you want. Indeed, I certainly will. Do what you want. Indeed, I will. How 1800s of us. Angrily, I turned away from Shelby and headed for the bathroom. Usually after dinner I'd make some coffee for us to unwind and relax, but tonight I wanted solitude. It was our first argument. I never anticipated how stressful a simple disagreement could be. It's not really a simple disagreement, though, if you think about it, because the entire thing that you're fighting over is a man trying to steal you away and Shelby's insecurities, and you didn't, basically tell him he's an idiot for thinking that guy was going to steal you, And he reacted, you know what I mean? It was all bad reactions on everybody's part. So at least it wasn't Shelby's acting like an ass and we're both acting kind of like we both did things wrong here. So I like that, though, Despite the tension, we didn't make amends by the time bedtime rolled around. We still shared the same bed, but not a single word was exchanged. Our backs pressed against each other as we laid in the enveloping silence. How awkward. If things didn't change by morning, it would be unbearable. As I wondered what to say, I felt Shelby stir slightly behind me. Spacey. His voice, filled with regret, broke the silence in our bedroom. Ignore him or answer him? I feel like we should answer him. I don't feel like ignoring him is bad. You know what I mean? Because we're it's unbearable, and you should never go to bed angry. Even if you're still going to be angry, you should still let that person know, I am mad at you right now, and I know we're both mad at each other, but I do love you. I just want you to fucking know. Don't talk to me. You know what I mean? Yeah, answer him. Good. What's wrong? Well, I'm sorry. In his shrunken voice, Shelby sounded sincerely apologetic. As I turned to face him, his pained expression took me by surprise. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said what I said. I was so caught up in my fear of losing you to another man that I became stubborn. I didn't think about your feelings. I should have known from your dedication as an advisor how much you love matchmaking. I'm sorry for saying such selfish things and disregarding your feelings. Aww. Shelby. It was the first time I'd ever heard Shelby apologize so sincerely. I felt guilty about it. Even though I still believed Shelby's demands were unreasonable, I had to admit I'd also spoken out of turn. I also said too much. I'm sorry, Shelby. I understand your worries, but I let my emotions take over. Also, this is where you tell him, also, no matter what Eli tries, he's never going to take me away. Although if you say that, then it makes you a liar, liar, pants on fire when he does, but... No, and you had every right to be upset. I was making one-sided demands without considering the consequences. Shelby saw my distressed expression and reached out to me. May I touch you? Yes. As I gave my consent, he pulled me into a warm embrace. The familiar scent of Shelby... The tension melted away as I took in the comforting scent of my husband. It had been a while since we'd had a moment like this, given Shelby's recent relentless work schedule. Shelby, would you like to... We hadn't been intimate lately. The last time was during our honeymoon. But as I suggested making up in a more intimate way, Shelby seemed flustered. Right. He doesn't seem too enthusiastic. I was puzzled, but when Shelby's hand caressed my cheek, I yielded myself to him. Spacey. Our lips met in a kiss. It had been a while since we expressed our love in such a way. It's gonna be something like that, you know what I mean? Like, he's already scared he's gonna lose you. You're like, it's been a while since you've had, not even just had sex, it's been a while since you've had any kind of romantic physical contact, like a kiss, a hug, anything, you know what I mean? Like, he gets in bed and you're like, oh, good, he's home. And then you wake up and he's gone and it's like, was he a ghost? Was he here? You know what I mean? So, like, you can see how they could be setting this up. But when the time came, Shelby suddenly froze. Shelby looked pale. I thought something was wrong and got up. Shelby, what's wrong? Are you feeling ill? No, it's just... I'm sorry. It seems I'm quite worn out lately. Worn out? My gaze followed his to an unexpected sight. I saw it in a different shape from usual. I mean, when he said worn out, I'm like, okay, he can't, okay, he's too tired for that. And then I didn't know you were gonna, like, vaguely, graphically describe this. Much like a soft, cinnamon-sprinkled banana, it was visibly unwell. I can't believe we're having this conversation. I can't believe I'm reading this description. Okay, this has to be a first. Shelby was so full of energy during our honeymoon. Seeing him pale at the sight was completely unexpected. Oh no, this poor man. He's so stressed out and like whatever. And it's like, you're tired and you're stressed and you're now paranoid that some man's going to take me away. Like, you're overthinking things. It's okay, bro. What am I supposed to do here? Things were awkward beyond belief. Just, like, don't laugh it off. Oh my god. Should I reassure him it's not a big deal? No, that might make it worse. Should I just laugh it off? You just understand. You just be like, it's like you've been stressed. You've been working yourself too hard. You're physically exhausted. And after the fight that we had, like the argument, like thinking that like Eli's going to take, like, I get it. Your emotions are running wild. You're overthinking things. You just need to relax. It's cool. And you just hold him and pet his head, you know, and you just gently touch him. Not like sexually touch him. You just gently caress. It's okay, baby. And then you just like, we'll just cuddle and sleep. And then, you know, like you just got to help him to relax and get out of his own fucking head. No, pretending I didn't notice isn't an option now. How can I respond without bruising his feelings? Unable to find the right words, I could feel us drifting apart instead of reconciling. No, I still desire you. It's just... something unexpected happened. I've read that stress and fatigue can cause this. It's not that I don't want to. Maybe my reduced workout routine lately has led to a drop in testosterone levels. Sweetie, it's because you're too fucking much in your own head and you're stressing your fucking self out. Shelby was faltering as he tried to explain the situation the best he could. We're not helping by not saying anything and just being like, like, you know what? Like, it happens. You're stressed out. You're overworking. You're exhausted. So don't worry about it. I know you love me. I know you still want me. I'm not taking this personally. Like, it's okay. You just got to get out of your own damn head. But the more he talked, the worse things seemed to get. Like, I get it. It's awkward and he's trying, but like, you've just got to like, don't be like, it happens all the time to me. Or like, lip banana. You know what I mean? Don't laugh. You've got to be understanding and in a way reassuring, like, it's okay. Like, shit happens, like, whatever. You know what I mean? Because you're going to have times where you're like, things aren't working right. And it's like, you know, I'm sorry. I just remembered that I still have work to do. I feel bad for this because the poor man, like, you're not talking to him about it. You're just letting him be awkward and it's going to make it worse. With that, Shelby climbed out of bed and hastily exited the bedroom. I had no idea something like this could happen. It was so soft and deflated. Oh, girl. I found myself glancing at the fresh bananas he kept in the room. No, oh no, and then you didn't have to bring up the image of the bananas. Game. A romantic moment had dissipated into thin air. Alone and bewildered, I remained in bed. Like, unlikely resident of the fridge. A few days had passed since the incident with Shelby's soft issue. Oh, God. Game, why? Oh, my God, it's 7:15. Oh, that's bullshit, though, because the alarm is 7:15 a.m., and the top says 7:15 a.m., but it does say 12:34:1. But that's actually the date this time. That's the date. So it's usually the time is usually 12:34 on 12:34, which is Wednesday. What? I'm just surprised they changed it to 7:15. Because they normally don't. Morning already? I silenced the alarm on my smartphone and let out a sigh. Since that night, we'd started sleeping in separate rooms. Uh-oh. Shelby must have thought it would be more humiliating if the same thing happened while sharing a bed. Yeah, that's not helping, though. You know what I mean? Emerging into the living room, I noticed Shelby's absence. He must have already left for the office. See, this is not good. This is why you're gonna fuck Eli, huh? Again, spicy end, I'm sure, but Shelby went to the office again today without me. The trash can contained the usual jelly drink wrappers. That was all he had been eating lately. Worry about Shelby's health? Don't worry. I think you should worry about his health. Like, don't worry is totally wrong. Oh, save file here already. Okay, interesting. I don't know how many save files we have. So, what's the right answer? Worry about his health. Okay. I'm worried about Shelby's health. I hadn't seen him eat properly for the past few days, and it was concerning. I don't think we didn't in Ryuki's have a normal choice like this. It was always the sweet or spices. I glanced at the clock and noticed there was still time before work began. I could still pack lunch. There's no lunch meeting scheduled today, so perhaps I should prepare something. I didn't want Shelby to collapse from malnutrition. With that thought, I opened the fridge. Just then I spotted a soft-shelled turtle. This is the unexpected resident of the fridge. I understand. I got the dick and the turtle got a line. It's just, eh? What? Why is the turtle shocked? I fell back in shock. It's still alive? A live soft-shelled turtle in our fridge? What on earth? Only Shelby would do something like that. He must have bought that turtle for some reason. Why is the turtle in the refrigerator? You're not going to eat it, are you? What dishes can you make with soft-shelled turtles? No! Well, I mean, it's no different than having a lobster in your fridge that you throw in a boiling pot, but there's something about, like, okay, but not a turtle! Don't do that to a turtle! It's kind of cruel when you do it to a lobster, but, like, again, lobsters are the cockroaches of the sea, so, like, I'll squish a cockroach, but I'm not gonna, like, smoosh a turtle. What the fuck? Soft-shell turtle. Let's search. Perk up. Soft-shell turtle magic. They'll get you energized. Keep the summer hot. Savor the flavor and keep it up. Oh, the soft-shell turtle happiness in 1, 2, 3. So he bought it because it's some kind of weird-ass holistic thing to, like, it's like fucking weird-ass Viagra. Okay, sweetie. I checked my smartphone, and the first thing that popped up was a dish for male virility. Virility? Could it be? Well, at least he's thinking about it. The presence of the turtle in the fridge had given me a hunch. I went into Shelby's bedroom and found my suspicions confirmed. Various virility supplements were arranged there. Oh my god, this poor man. Like, sweetie, it's just stress. You need to stop being stressed. You're going to pop a boner and need to go to the hospital. He'd even arranged the bottles by size. Given Shelby's meticulous nature, that didn't surprise me. The bookshelf had titles like Evidence of Softness and Maintaining Bedroom Relations as a Married Couple. Evidence of softness. Evidence of softness doesn't make you think like, you know, and except for in this context. But if they just said, okay, the bookshelf held titles like Evidence of Softness, you're thinking, oh, softness, like, oh, you're gentle and you're soft and like, you know what I mean? Like an emotional kind of thing, not your actual physical penis. Because oh my God. Oh, Jesus. This, just when you'd think this game isn't going to get bonkers, I mean, the game is bonkers. The first one was motherfucking bonkers. But also, this is how you do it. Like, Ryuki's route was really, the first couple parts were kind of boring. You were like, okay, we're not really doing anything. We're just having the same non-conversation over and over and over and over. And then it was his grandmother yelling. And then the bonker shit started happening. It's like, oh, God. With the whole, like, I can't see her because of the pimple thing. And you're like, then it started getting crazy. But that was, like, halfway through. We're, like, a lot sooner. Shelby's has been a little, like, we got the little kind of drama thing started off early. And now we're getting the bonkers. But it's like, at least the drama starting early was entertaining and good. And it's like, okay, you guys need to communicate. But there's always something a little different. It's just the way they did this one is better from the get-go. Ryuki's took too long to get going. You know what I mean? Once we got there, it was better, but it took too long to get to the bonkers and like where you're like entertained and you're like, oh no, you motherfuckers need to talk. Ooh, this is going to be bad. Shelby started off. You were like going there and you're like, oh no, this man, oh, wait a minute. But I also think like we did Marinice's route and then went to Ryuki's and I didn't read the like trigger warning kind of things in between. I read it at the very beginning. So only Peter's route kind of flagged already from that. Like, oh, this is going to happen there. So I think reading it before, you're like, all right. Let's see which one of these this kink is going to happen in this one. You know what I mean? Which kind of, maybe that helped. I don't know. But I don't think I'm crazy. Ryuki's took a while to get going. It was a very bland start to the game. I mean, not really. Bland start to the game for the main love interest routes. We started off the game good with Marinice. I think doing his route first was a great idea. Because then if Ryuki is where we started, I would have been like, first couple of hours would have been boring. But Shelby's started off a little like, oh, okay, there's something going on. Oh, okay, we got the problems going on. All right, okay. And now the bonkers is happening, and we just kind of slid right into it without a moment's hesitation, really. So I like this. I want them to keep up this kind of momentum with the other routes. Like, okay, we're in the route. Yeah, we got some little fluff and then there's a little issue and then the bonkers and it's like the ride is exciting. Ryuki's is like we're sitting on the roller coaster and we're stuck on the uphill. We're going up very slow. Are we going to get there? Are we going to hit? Like, you know what I mean? So I think that one just had a bad start. But goddamn, this was, oh, okay. Like you think you're like that. You forget about how bonkers shit gets until you get here, and then you're like, no, it's a little bonkers. Because, like, there is a way to write, like, oh, okay, he's having issue, like, okay, where it's a little more serious, and then when they do this for some reason, it's just fucking comedic and ridiculous. Clearly, Shelby had been searching for a solution ever since we began sleeping separately. A solution on how to get it up again. We're going to be on this for a while. We're going to be on this because she can't get on it. You know what I mean? He was desperate to restore his vigor and reunite in the bedroom. Shelby's been so worried about this. I've been feeling increasingly distant from him since we started sleeping apart. I'd even begun questioning whether he even wanted to share a bed with me anymore. But it wasn't a lack of desire on his part. He was simply shocked by his own predicament and wanted to resolve it. And this could also, again, lead into the cuckolding thing, right? Like, we're like, him unable to get up causes you to cheat, but then that is what renews his vigor. You know what I mean? He's like, wait, because he's got to compete with your lover. You know what I mean? And that's like a weird where, in the normal route version, the sweet and spicy, it's going to be like, oh no, it was just too much stress and everything. But once that got resolved, then, oh hell yeah, he's a machine again. You know what I mean? And then everything's fine. But then in the spicy end, it's like, oh, you know what? Everything's not okay. He can't, the only way he can get it up is just by thinking of it as a competition. You know what I mean? And like, it's a little fucked up and weird, but like, okay. I won't be as disturbed about it then. You know what I mean? Kind of really feels like it depends on how we slide into sleeping with somebody else, but we'll see. Anyway, seeing his earnest efforts made me chuckle. Oh, Shelby, we could have discussed this together. His decision to store a live soft-shell turtle in the fridge was definitely surprising, but it was a classic, lovably clumsy move from Shelby, and like shit like that. Crazy. Maybe I should prepare lunch for him. Maybe I should let the turtle go. I checked my phone for ingredients that could help. It seemed like oysters, avocados, okra, and ginger could help increase testosterone levels. Well, I didn't have any oysters. I had the rest. I prepared lunch with those ingredients and took it to the office. As usual, Shelby was deeply engrossed in his work. But when I presented him with lunch, he paused. Shelby, I made lunch. Would you like some?
Lunch? And did you make it, Spacey?
You haven't been eating properly lately. I was worried.
Spacey.
Suddenly, Shelby stood up from his desk and embraced me tightly.
I'm sorry. I've been a terrible husband. But thank you.
Sweetie, you're just stressed out, and you're making yourself more stressed out, and then you can't get it up, and they're just making you more stressed out. Like, you just gotta get that stress level down, and then you gotta get your stress down to get your dick up, okay? We'll work it out. It'll be fine. Eventually, at some point, I'm gonna bring you lunch, and your stress level's gonna go down. It's gonna go up, and you're gonna fuck me on this desk. It'll be great. It'll be okay. We'll just pace ourselves till then. Oh, don't be silly. What's gotten into you?
Nothing. I've just realized how much I depend on you. I wasn't being considerate enough. Thank you, Spacey.
Shelby leaned down to plant a kiss on my cheek. Suddenly, I heard papers scattering onto the floor behind me. Excuse me! Oh!
Sorry. You mentioned something in the office chat earlier. Could you report on that now?
I'll take my lunch downstairs. Excuse me. It's like he's just there and he's just giving you a kiss on the cheek. It's not like we're having sex on the desk. I rushed out of the president's office, clutching my portion of the lunch, heading for the Cupid Core office cafeteria. Less than an hour later, I returned to the president's office. Shelby was out, possibly in a meeting, but his lunchbox was empty. Good for him. A note was stuck to it saying, "It was delicious. Thank you." At least he ate it. Days passed with me preparing Shelby's lunches and dinners, but he often came home late. He's like, why do we keep eating avocado, okra, and oysters? And you're like, I'm trying to help you get it up, buddy! Maybe get yourself some sexy lingerie, see if that works. If not, I mean, it's just the stress, but you can try. He's so late! I sighed heavily, frustrated with Shelby's frequent late nights. Notice that now that we have this issue, we haven't seen Eli in a while. He's pacing himself. He's like, all right, they're on to me. Back off. He'd been adding extra work to his schedule, making it difficult to predict his return. From wife's perspective, not knowing when he returned was worrisome. Since we'd started sleeping in separate rooms, I had no idea when he came home each night. If we'd been sharing a room, I would at least stir when he crawled into bed. You need to get in his bed. I rarely see him in the office, either. He was frequently out for business meetings, leaving his office empty. Maybe he's the one cheating on you with Eli. That'd be interesting. And since he didn't share the specifics of his tasks with me, I often had no clue what he was working on, despite being his secretary. But he seems to be eating. I opened the fridge to find that all the meals I had prepared were gone. What happened to the turtle? He must have been coming home at least occasionally to eat, even if I never saw him. But we hadn't hugged or kissed in days. We were husband and wife, but we hadn't even held hands in so long. As for the soft-shelled turtle, it seemed to have disappeared from the fridge before I noticed. Oh no! I hope he let it go and didn't eat it! Shelby, this is why I'm gonna cheat on you. The poor turtle. Listen, you can boil lobsters or whatever, but not turtles! Leave the turtle alone! Whether he had consumed it or it had somehow escaped, I had no way of knowing. I'm gonna hope that it is running away, and if you looked outside on the patio, you would see it slowly crawling. You know, tortoises move slow. Turtles can kind of move a little bit faster than you think.
After Spacey went home, I was doing my work all alone. And truth be told, I wanted to go home and spend time with her. However, with Eli Omar constantly pursuing her, I couldn't afford to slack off at work.
Here's the thing, sweetie. I think you got your priorities fucked up. Like, Eli's trying, like, I get it. I'm working hard to make sure that Eli isn't going to come for my business. But then as soon as Eli is trying to come for your wife, your thought process is, I got to stay at work and work really hard to protect my business. I can't afford to slack off with Eli chasing down my wife trying to get up her skirt. Because I can't get it up and get it on with my wife. So, like, but if I work harder and stress myself out more and make it even more physically impossible for me to get it up and be able to satisfy my wife, and, you know, and I'll just avoid her altogether and we won't even kiss or anything. Like, you know, that's fine. That'll work out. Dude, are you stupid? I'm not saying your wife should cheat on you because you're never home, but I'm just saying that most people, like, when people cheat, what's it usually? Oh, it's because, well, or I'm sorry. If you as a woman get cheated on, what's the first thing people, well, what were you doing wrong? Why weren't you satisfying your husband that he had to step out? Excuse me, go fuck yourself. But that's exactly the first thought that comes to people's minds. What did you do wrong? Okay? What were you not doing? You weren't satisfying him. So, like, that's the first thing people think when someone cheats is the person cheated because the other person wasn't satisfying them sexually. Or even romantically, physically, they weren't supporting your needs or anything. Now, still no reason to cheat, but like if your partner isn't meeting any of your needs, mental, emotional, physical, sexual, anything, yeah, I think you need to just break up and find someone new, but not cheat and then, you know what I mean? But like, but Shelby's first thought is this man is trying to fuck my wife, and because I'm so stressed out and I can't get it up, I should just work harder and make my life more stressful and never be around her because that'll make it better. Guys, Shelby's not as smart as he pretends to be. He's kind of a moron. I mean, I get it. When it comes to business and everything, smart. Book smart, not street smarts. Like, good lord, dude. Anyway.
That man relentlessly sought to buy out Cupid Core.
Yeah, so I understand if that's what your thought process is why you're working so hard, but you also know he's trying to bang your wife.
I was resolved not to let him take control. I had to work harder to transform Cupid Core into a formidable, unshakable giant in the industry. I planned to reach out to my contacts, develop new strategies, and expand our business. Next is... Suddenly I received an email notification. I was expecting a response from a client, but instead I was taken aback to see Eli Omar's name on the sender line.
President Snail, I have something intriguing to show you. Come to the island. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 again.
I opened the email, which read, President Snail, I have something intriguing to show you. Come to the island. I'd already outright refused his acquisition proposal, but he seemed unfazed. Something intriguing, huh? Perhaps this was his way of stirring the pot, hoping to coax me into selling. Well, I was up for the challenge. Since my early days with Cupid Core, when I was young and green, there had been numerous acquisition offers. Each time I'd persevered, steadfastly refusing to surrender.
See, it's this mentality, which is why, again, like Shelby, like, if we end up in a relationship with Eli on the side, I could see that in the Spicy, and then Shelby being like, oh, that's going to motivate him to get over his stress and fuck you right, because now he's got to compete. Because he's like, I will persevere. Eli's trying to come for my cup, but fuck him, I'm going to work harder and make sure he suffers. He's being very competitive here, so I can see where that could go, you know?
I guess I'm taking a trip. I responded, agreeing to go the next day, then got back to work. Once I'd finished a significant portion of my tasks, I checked the time. It was already 2 a.m. Another day had passed without me being able to share quality time with my beloved wife.
Whose fault is that? Like, whose fault is that? You know? So, but anyway, we're going to wrap this part up here because we're over time. And I can't move my hand because my bird's sleeping. You're going to have to move, buddy. Yeah, you're so cozy. You're so cute. You're so snuggly. I know you flew upstairs today. You were downstairs. You put yourself in your cage. And I was like, I'm going upstairs, though. And I'm like, fine. And he was chirping to me. And I was like, nope, I'm upstairs. Because I knew. Because you did it the other day. You flew upstairs all by yourself. And then you came upstairs and you were like, poop, on top of my pillow. Like, woo, I did it. You did it for the third time. I am so proud of you. But also I created a monster. I did, because now I can't leave. I can never come upstairs and leave you behind because you're just going to follow me. And I'm going to come out of my room sometime, and you're just going to be sitting down here making a mess all over my fucking shit, aren't you? Yeah. Can't ever get any space away from the bird. He's like, nope, not allowed to do anything alone. That's why when we go pee, we leave the door open because you have to come with us. Because if you don't, you're going to scream. It's like, for God's sakes, I just went pee, bird. It's kind of terrifying when you go pee and then you're like walking out the door and then the bird comes flying around the motherfucking corner because he's like trying to follow you, but you're leaving the bathroom as he's flying in and then you both scare each other and like the amount of times I've had a near fucking heart attack from this little bastard flying around corners, scaring the bejesus out of me. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.